Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. We'll surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards of Football. I'd like to give special thanks to our producer today, the very talented Mr. Logan Landers. Our video today is the Dallas Cowboys from 1992 to 1996, one of the greatest runs in pro football history. America's team, Cowboy Nation. I'm your host, Vincent Turner. And I'm going to let you know before we get started today here on the video, I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. Been one since 1966. Love them, cried over them, lost money over them. The Dallas Cowboys are in the house today. And joining me is a very talented gentleman that's been a lot to 100 yards of football over the last month. He's caused us to do numbers on our Facebook page and YouTube page that we'll surely appreciate it. We call him the rock star. He's a very talented writer. Came to us from firstroundmark.com, the very talented Mr. William Yanish III. So, if you like the video today, please come in and share it. We'll surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards of Football. Mr. Yanish, let's talk about America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, 1992 to 1996.
This here is a run that I remember well. Obviously I'm the Niners fan in the house, and I remember what happened, Joe Montana and all. And man, when we going from, just a few years earlier, 1-15 to this Super Bowl run in 1992. I mean, it was an absolute turnaround, and I mean, I don't even know where to start, man, because you're the Cowboys fan, man. I mean, tell me some stuff.
I'm going to start here then, Mr. Yanish. Remember that TV series called Dallas? They had this very evil guy named J.R. Ewing, played by the very talented actor, Mr. Larry Hackman. And you know how Dallas went through those years. What's going to happen to J.R.? Everybody wanted J.R. to be murdered. Well, in February 25th, 1989, that's what happened to the Dallas Cowboys. So Jerry Jones took over as owner. He fired Tom Landry, and he brought his roommate from the University of Arkansas, the school I attended, Pig Sooie. A lot of people don't know about that. Only Arkansas fans know how to call them hogs. And the time changed for the Dallas Cowboys at that point. And it changed that first year when Jimmy Johnson went 1-15. It had changed that second year when he went 7-9. It had changed when he went 11-5, and it had changed when he went 13-3. I'm talking about Jimmy Johnson won Dallas' first Super Bowl, his first Super Bowl. It changed with the trade of the century. And how ironic today that me and Mr. Landers, we're here locally in the Metro Atlanta area, and you're in your beautiful hometown of Grand Junction, Colorado, outside Denver, that the guy that changed the Dallas Cowboys' fortune is probably the greatest football player in Georgia football history, the great Herschel Walker. One of the greatest trades ever. Herschel Walker was traded during that 1-15 season for, I believe, 8 draft picks, I believe 5 starters, but it gave Dallas an opportunity to rebound and really take the organization to where it needed to be. And all those great players that came through them draft picks formed one of the greatest runs ever from 92 to 96. And you think about the players that came through them picks: Emmitt Smith, Russell Maryland, wow, Darren Smith, Robert Jones, Darren Woodson, Eric Williams, Kevin Smith, Alvin Harper. And you know what that brings? When you got a coach that believes in the system, it's called Cowboy Nation. See, everybody not feeling that if you're not part of this Dallas Cowboy Nation. Don't get frowned up, Mr. Yanish, because y'all was our chief competitors to San Francisco 49ers. We're going to do a video on San Francisco today, too, to give you some flowers. Don't start frowning up today, 49ers fan. But during that time, it was probably one of the greatest times of my life to see your team that you cherished and cheered for almost 30 some years not be on top of the football world and had that great run. And I remember when Dallas went in 1-15, I was working at Levi Strauss, a plant in Knoxville, Tennessee, a jean plant. And at the time, a lot of co-workers were big time football fans. Of course, I was in the backyard of the University of Tennessee. And every week when Dallas lost, they came in and gave it to me. Oh, Dallas lost today, Vincent. Oh, Dallas got blew out today. Or Troy Aikman got under center when they played the Washington Redskins and somebody hiked the ball to the guard. But the one joke that's going to stick with me forever is that I came in after a very brutal loss in that 1-15 season. And a gentleman came up to me named Ronnie Laycock. Never forget that name. Big time University of Tennessee fan. Loved the Washington Redskins, who now the Washington Commanders. In front of the washroom, in front of everybody, said, Vince, I got a joke for you today. Hey, man, what do you call a Dallas Cowboy that be losing all the time? A woman drops off 3 of her kids at Texas Stadium, and they get lost. And she's in a frantic mode. And she turns around, and the police finally find our kids. Man, we're glad you got your kids because your kids on the field beating the brakes off the Dallas Cowboys. Beating the brakes off the Dallas Cowboys. But how did that change in the next few years? And then that first Super Bowl win against the Buffalo Bills, 52-17, when that defense of the Dallas Cowboys led by Russell Maryland, James Washington, Charles Haley, forced 9 turnovers, and the Cowboys went on and won that Super Bowl 52-17. They come back to the next year. Emmitt Smith went over 127 yards here in the town of Atlanta, Georgia, back to back, beating the Buffalo Bills 30-13. Then the following year, well, you know what happened in the offseason. Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson fell out. Cowboys hired a new head coach, Barry Switzer. Dallas took a step back and lost to a very talented San Francisco 49ers team. They had to go get everybody and their mama to play on that roster, including that outstanding defensive back from Fort Myers, Florida, by the name of primetime Deion Sanders, and lost in the NFC Championship game that year 38-28. But however, Deion decided I'd had enough out there in Northern California. Let me go when I could be a real star and become a Hall of Fame player. And he came and became part of the Cowboy Nation. In that following year, the Cowboys ran through the playoffs, beat Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers, and then won their 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 27-17. And Larry Brown became games MVP with 2 interceptions because the Steelers didn't want to throw at Deion Sanders. But as we roll the dice now, this 2024, I'm still a loving Cowboys fan, but I don't know where we're going to go this year. But I can tell you this, from 92 to 96, everything in Dallas is huge. The money, the oil rigs, Jerry Jones, University of Arkansas. I could be more proud to be a Cowboys fan, and I'm going to take that to my grave. Now you, Mr. Yanish.
Oh man, sitting here listening to all this and just bringing back, so many memories of growing up. These are my teen years right here, man. And when I was really getting into that competition, and the Cowboys. Oh man, it's one of those things that it's a rivalry and it's a game, and so many people take it personal, but there's nothing personal to take about it, man. I mean, at the end of the day, between you and me, we're good friends. We're good. I mean, you can sit here and have debates, do everything like that, man. The Dallas Cowboys and what they did, I'll get back to them, and what they did over those years, became something, and it had the rivalry going on in the NFC between, the Giants and the Redskins and the Eagles, the whole, And what that just every year it was one of those teams, you know, in the Super Bowl, and just because of injuries, you know, because of the body bag game, you know, the NFC East is one of the toughest divisions. Everything else, man, I mean, I just can't say, you know, I mean, it's one of the most exciting eras to think about, to watch. Everything else right in there, and I love it. So I'll end with that.
If you like the video today, please come in and share it. Special thanks to our talented producer today, Mr. Logan Landers. The 1992-1996 Dallas Cowboys, what a run. 3 Super Bowl championships in 4 years. I couldn't be more proud. I don't know what to say as today, but I hope the Dallas Cowboys could take it back with Dak Prescott under the center to the days of 92 through 96. Special thanks to the young man on the screen, the very talented, handsome Mr. William Yanish III, coming to us live out of Grand Junction, Colorado. We'd like to say be blessed here on 100 Yards Football. I've been your host, Vincent Turner. And before I leave today, before we end the video today, I want to give a very special shout out. A gentleman that changed my life, who I consider one of the greatest basketball players ever. And I go back to the NCAA championship game, UCLA and Memphis State. At that time, Bill Walton gained the respect from me as a fan of knowing what it is to play center, because he went 21 and 22 that night against my team, the Memphis State Tigers, and scored 42 points that night. He passed this last week, and special condolences to a guy that was real to the heart, the big redhead, Bill Walton. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. We'll surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards of Football. God bless.
Later, guys.